love the 21 Pilots for that. Okay, so I just had a great call with one of my spiritual buddies, and it's just amazing because it was someone that if I hadn't shared all of this information about my path, we may not have connected, and I love all of it. And also it's helping me to share this because I was guided earlier to but I didn't want to. But basically, and then we were just talking about it forever. So it's so important, right? The emotional healing that we do, okay? I have come to believe, and I have learned, through this whole spiritual journey I've been on, and through studying for my certification at the Chopra Center, that our energetic bodies, blocks in our energetic bodies, that is what causes physical ailments. So what do I mean by blocks in our energetic bodies, right? So we have our chakras, right? So picture these energy pools as just clean mirrors, right? Is the simplest way. Then life happens, shit happens, okay? And whether we deal with it, then it leaves this residue. But if we don't deal with it, if we don't feel those emotions, right? If you were like me, right, when over 3 years ago now, by the grace of God, but when I was drinking my emotions away, right? It was like I did not want to feel emotion for the life of me. So my body wouldn't even process it, couldn't handle it. So I just chose to drink it all away. But what happens is that causes stagnation, right? That causes energetic block. So through whether it's energy work, there's so many different ways that you can kind of, work through this, but the most thorough, and I'm reading right now, and I love Dr. David Simon's Free to Love, Free to Heal. It is amazing. And he talks about, how when we're younger, and as most of us are aware, that's where most of our traumas develop, but it's because it's where we develop our belief systems, right? So we start to create these stories around negative experiences, okay? And until we shine a light, right, on those subconscious issues, okay? Until we really look at those emotional stagnations that we have avoided, for most of our life, we can't reach that next level of happiness, right? And that's the purpose of life, Dr. David Simon explains, is, continuing to, excel and advance through levels of happiness. And this is how we can do that, right? It's through self-reflection. And I hope through, sharing these, it kind of, plants seeds, and hopefully, the people I work with, I get guided to whatever way is the best, the best tool, the best vehicle for them to proceed on their spiritual journey, how they should go about, that self-reflection to, transcend consciousness and continue to reach, blissful happiness. But, to be honest, it's hard work, and you have to be willing, to do that work. And I've been, on another, I've been going through, a serious 7-month journey of that, since I left the Chopra Center, actually, the end of July. I have been, clearing out emotional stuff I thought I dealt with, but it's layers, it's the stuff goes deep. So the good news is that through doing all this, intense emotional cleanup, if I think I'm happy, now, if I think my levels of, joy are at its peak now, imagine how much greater it's going to be, how much more synchronicity, how much more magical everything is going to be once I drop all of that dead weight, right? Once I clear that, emotional wreckage from my chakras, from my energy centers, right? It's going to raise my vibration up that much better. So that's the purpose, that's really, the reward of doing that hard soul work, is that it leads us to our purpose, right? And I am I'm spiritually intuitive for over a year now. I think over a year ago, I started opening up spiritually. But the good news is that, I'm clairaudient. I hear messages. I'm claircognitive. I'll just know things. I'll get downloaded with messages. I'm clairvoyant. I'll see stuff. But what's really cool is if I'm spiritually advising someone, I will get messages on the things that are predestined in this lifetime, right? Because I believe that our souls have signed up for all of the lessons in this lifetime, all of the hard stuff, right? I believe that we choose. Our souls pick it. And then in between, it's all the free will, the great stuff, right? So I can kind of help navigate people to guide them to what their best path is, what their spiritual journey is, what their purpose is, because the purpose is to go, to learn the lessons, so if we don't, it's like, well, what are we doing? You better watch all those sunsets. You better enjoy all those little things, because that's why we're here. It's what it's about. And just while I'm on that, to address the whole, I don't like to call it psychic because there's such a big connotation, but at a family party recently, and I'm being guided to share this, someone said, I believe all this stuff, that you talk about, but my church, isn't about it, because it was, something about her mom who had crossed over. Because if what's in the highest good is for someone to be healed and it involves someone that's crossed over, yes, sometimes as a clear channel, I will be guided to deliver that information, if it is for the highest good, for healing in that time, right? For that purpose. So we were talking about her mom who had passed, and she brought up the whole church thing in the Bible, and she was kind of taken back by my answer. And, through this journey so far, I've come to, agree. I understand why the Bible says don't go to psychics. When my dad crossed over, when I was 15, 16, I, was going to so many psychics, right? And so here's why. Here's why I agree with the Bible that psychics are bad, even though I myself am intuitive, right? It's because, no, you don't want to go to someone that's going to tell you this is going to happen, this is happening in your future. No. You are supposed to create your future, right? Our thoughts, our intentions, our prayers, like our thoughts create our actions. This is how it works. We create our realities. It's all of the mindset. It begins up here. It's the way you think about it, what you believe. Do you have faith? How you work with your higher power. You should be relying on whatever that higher power is for you to help bring what you want, your greatest desires, into fruition, right? It shouldn't be a seed planted by someone else that tells you that something's gonna happen, because then that's what will start to manifest and come into fruition, right? So, this happens anyway. It's a law of attraction. There's so many, Deepak teaches the 7 spiritual laws of the universe. It's, there's so much information out there. It's so interesting, but anyway, just want to say, so important to shine the light on those emotional, stagnations. Look at it, do the self-reflection, because it just lifts your vibration. It's such a beautiful thing. And so if you're going through anything hard right now, if it is emotional, I'm there with you. I've been there. 7-month journey. Trust me, lifetime journey, trust me. But it's okay. It's worth it. Just keep going, and you will just continue to transcend consciousness. You'll continue to raise your vibration, bring in your prayers into your energy field, and it's so beautiful, and it's so exciting when it happens. So that is it. And again, I just can't get over also that the 21 Pilots song, Heavy Dirty Soul, yes, clean it, but you gotta do the soul work. You gotta clean up your heavy dirty soul, but you can, even if you didn't cry, you didn't feel all that emotion because you wanted to be a tough guy, right? And you didn't think you should express it. It's okay. You can still shine the light. It's not scary, and just clean it all up. Dr. David Simon, he explains it like a little kid and a monster under the bed, right? Seems scary, shine the flashlight. It's not a monster, it's a teddy bear. That's it. And then life's so great after. So shine the flashlight. All right, that's it. Bye guys. Happy Soul Sunday.